In this app, we're going to load two different kinds of JSON into Swift structs, one for astronauts and one for missions. Now, making this happen in a way that's easy to maintain and doesn't clutter our code takes some thinking, but we'll work towards it step by step. First, you want to drag in the two JSON files here that are available in the GitHub repository for this project under Project 8 files. You want astronauts.json and missions.json, and drag these into your project navigator over here, like that. Boom. Make sure copy if selected is needed selected, and we're done. Press finish. Now, while we're here, we can also add in the images in the asset catalog. So go ahead and open up your asset catalog here. And then the images folder inside here are a bunch of pictures. Now, these are astronaut pictures here and mission badges for the various NASA missions for the Apollo project. They were all created by NASA. So under Title 17, Chapter 1, Section 105 of the US Code, they're available for us to use under a public domain license. So just grab all those, just Command A in that directory and drag them all in to your asset catalog like that. Now, if you look in your astronauts.json file, you're going to see each astronaut here is defined by three fields. We have an ID for them here, we have the name, Virgil I. Gus Grissom, and we also have a short description, and this is actually copied from Wikipedia. So if you intend to use that text in your own shipping projects, it's important to give credit to Wikipedia and its authors and make it clear your work's licensed under the CC by SA license. That's Creative Commons Attribution Share Alike. Now, we're going to convert this astronaut data here into a Swift struct. So press Command N to make a new file, choose Swift file, then name this thing astronaut.swift, like that. And now I'll give it this code. We'll say there's a new struct called astronaut, which is both codable and identifiable. It'll have an ID, string, and then a name, string, string, and then a description, string. So as you can see, I've made this thing conform to Codable, so you can make instances of this struct straight from JSON, but also conform to identifiable, so we can use arrays of astronauts inside our for reaches and more. This ID is just fine. Next, we want to convert astronauts.json into a dictionary of astronaut instances, which means we've got to use our bundle of our app to find the path to our file, load that into an instance of data, then pass it through a JSON decoder. Now, previously, I put this into a method on content view, but here I'd like to show you a much better way. We're going to write an extension on bundle itself to do all this in one centralized place. So, make another new Swift file. This time called bundle-decodable.swift. And this is mostly going to use code we've seen before, but there's one small difference. Previously, we used string contents of to load files into a string. But because Codable uses data instead of string, we're going to instead use data contents of. And it works in just the same way as string contents of. Give it a file URL to load, and it either returns the contents or throws an error. So inside here, we'll make an extension on bundle. And this will be called decode some file string, and it'll return a string astronaut dictionary like that. Now inside here, we'll first get the URL to our particular file name. We'll say guard-let URL is self.url for resource with extension. So we'll pass our file name in here and nil for the extension. And if that fails, I'll call fatal error saying failed to locate that file in the bundle. Once we have the URL, we'll load it into a data object. We'll say guard-let data is try ? Data contents of that URL. Else, fatal error, failed to load the file from our bundle. Like that. And if we've found it and loaded it, we can now decode it. So make a new decoder instance here, like that, and then say guard let loaded equals try question mark our decoder dot decode, and again we're decoding here a string astronaut dictionary from our data, and if that fails, we'll say, whoops, fatal error, we failed to decode the file from our bundle. And if we're still here, we've found the file, we've loaded the file, we've decoded the file, we can simply send back our final dictionary, like so. Now, I'm going to come back to that in a minute. But first, I want to say you can see it makes liberal use of fatal error. Here, if the file can't be found, here if it can't be loaded, and here if it can't be decoded, meaning it will just crash. If any of those things don't work, boom, your app will just crash. As before though, this will never actually happen unless you've made a mistake. For example, if you forgot to copy the JSON file into your project. Now you might wonder why we use an extension here rather than a method, but the reason is about to become clear as we load that JSON into our content view. We add a property in content view over here. I'll say up here, let astronauts is bundle.main.decode astronauts.json. And that's all it takes. Now, sure, all we've done is just moved code out of content view into an extension, but there's nothing wrong with that. Anything we can do to help our view stay small and focused is a good thing. Now, if you want to double check your JSON's being loaded correctly, you can modify the default body property copied code down here. We could say, instead of the vstack yada yada yada, I'll just say text string of astronauts.count. You can see here it's saying 32. It's found 32 astronauts to show in our JSON file. Now, before we're done, I'm going to go back to our little extension now and look at it in a little more close information here. The code we have is perfectly fine for this app. But if you want to use it in the future and other programs, I'd recommend adding some extra code to help you diagnose your problems. What we want to do is, in our current bundle extension, I'm going to replace the second part of the method, this whole code here. That's going to change. We're going to say instead, yes, give me a decoder, that's fine. But then we'll start a do block. And inside there, we'll try sending back decoder.decode our value right now, which is string astronaut.self from that data. But if it doesn't work, I want to know why it didn't work. And so we'll start a catch block. We'll say there's a catch here, and we'll catch decoding error.key not found. It'll tell us the key that wasn't found, as well as any extra context around it, the rest of the data around it. And so if that happens, we'll say, okay, fine, couldn't find the key. Let's tell users that. We'll say there's a fatal error saying we failed to decode that file from our bundle due to a missing key, which is that key string value. And for any extra information, I'll just also print out that context debug description. Give me any extra details of string here now. So if there's no key found, say it's missing a key. We'll have a second catch block here. We'll do a catch saying, how about a decoding error.type mismatch? If you said it'll be an integer, it's actually a double, for example. We'll say, okay, there's some type mismatch, fine. I don't care what it was, but it wasn't correct. But for the context, again, give me the context here, I can read it in. And we'll do fatal error. We failed to decode that file from our bundle due to type mismatch. And again, print out the context debug description. So it's not found a key, it's got a wrong type, that's fine. We could do another catch here. We could say catch a decoding error.value not found. So it's found the key just fine, but it's missing a value. It says it should be there, and it's nil, for example. Not allowed. The value's not found. So our type triggered it. Give me the context, and we'll print it out. We'll say here, we've fatal error, failed to decode the file from the bundle due to missing some type value. And I'll say context debug description again, like that. There are more. We could say, let's do another cache. Let's catch a decoding error. .data corrupted. The JSON's just bad. We don't care what it is this time because it's bad JSON. We'll say fatal error. Failed to decode the file from the bundle because it appears to be, double P in appears to be invalid JSON. And finally, that catch-all, often called a Pokemon catch, you got to catch them all. We'll just do fatal error, failed to decode that file from our bundle because of error. .localized description. So it's not a big change. It's actually quite tedious to write, but it means the method will now tell you what went wrong with decoding. It's really great for times when your Swift code and your JSON file don't quite match up.